I am making this video due to the recent tweets and posts from Malema, Ramaphosa and the DA, who is praising Robert Mugabe as a hero and icon. I just want to share exactly who and what he was, just to make sure that Robert Mugabe is remembered for the person he truly was. Where do I start? Okay, let's start with his death. Robert Mugabe dies at the age of 95, a dictator who used repression and fear to hold on to power in Zimbabwe for 37 years, until finally his previously loyal military generals turned against him. After his humiliating resignation in November 2017, his physical well-being degraded away rapidly. An evil dictator hiding behind a mask of a liberator. A guy who actually rid the former British colony Rhodesia of white minority rule. Robert Gabriel Mugabe will not be remembered for this mask of a liberator he once wore, but he will rather be remembered for the person he truly was. A despot who crushed political dissent, ruined the national economy, and who led an entire country to hunger, chaos, and economic collapse. The former political prisoner turned guerrilla leader came into power in the 1980 elections after sanctions forced the Rhodesian government to the negotiating table. In office, he initially won international approval for his declared policy of racial reconciliation and for extending improved education and health services to the black majority. But his luck faded quickly. After his release from prison in 1974, Mugabe had taken control of the Zimbabwean African National Union, ZANU, and its armed forces. One of the early casualties of Mugabe's crackdown on dissent was the leader of the Zimbabwean African People's Union, ZAPU, Joshua Nkomo. Nkomo was dismissed from government, where he held the Home Affairs portfolio, after the discovery of an arms cache in his Matabeleland province stronghold in 1982. Mugabe then masterminded the killing of about 20,000 Matabele people by unleashing the North Korean trained 5th Brigade on Nkomo's Matabele people. Mugabe also seized white-owned farms violently. The seizure of white-owned farms wrecked the agricultural sector. Investors fled and the country plunged into economic misery. Mugabe climbed to power by using violence against anyone who did not support him and by rigging elections. If you did not support him, well, he would kill you. After Mugabe destroyed his own country, he over and over tried to blame the West, especially the United States, for this. And this is a true characteristic of a madman, a pathological liar. Let's look at a few quotes from people who worked and who knew Mugabe. A professor at the University of South Africa, Sajak Gutto, once said, Mugabe was a great leader whose leadership degenerated to a level where he really brought Zimbabwe to its knees. Perfectly said. Britain's former Foreign Secretary, Peter Carrington, once said, Mugabe wasn't human at all. There was a sort of reptilian quality about him. You could admire his skills and intellect, but he was an awful, slippery sort of person. Martin Meredith said, his real obsession was not with personal wealth, but with power. And this is a guy that wrote the autobiography about him. So, I mean, that sums Robert Mugabe up.